And we've got breaking news right now, just getting confirmation on this, and you're seeing it live. 2 people have died in this house fire in Dixon. It happened earlier this morning. Investigators remain on the scene right there, and the firefighters standing there, very somber, obviously realizing that there were 2 fatalities in this house fire. This live picture from the scene here on McFarland Lane. Don't know how this fire started, whether it was the flames or maybe smoke inhalation that claimed these 2 victims. Apparently they lived in this home. Our crew remains on the scene, and again, we'll continue to update this double fire fatality for you in Dixon as more information becomes available. Amy?
All right, Steve, thanks. And new this morning, the man accused of threatening a woman and her children at gunpoint is now behind bars. Our Cuthbert Langley at Metro Jail this morning with more on this scary story. So tell us about the family, Cuthbert. Is the family okay?
Good morning, Amy. Yeah, the best news of all of this is that the family is okay. They were sleeping when this man came into the home. They were awakened by him, forced into a bathroom at gunpoint. One of those children was just 6 years old, but again, thankfully everybody is okay. Let's take a look at this man's mugshot here just into the newsroom within the last little bit. This is 21-year-old Charles Braden. This was back in March. Police say this all started when Braden walked up to 2 people standing outside of a home on Claiborne Street. He asked them for a cigarette, but then police say Claiborne pulled out a gun and then forced them inside of the home. That's when the suspect took their cell phones, went upstairs, woke up the mother and her children, forced them into the bathroom, and then ransacked the home during all of this, taking a television, electronics. But then here's where things get even more interesting here. Braden allegedly took one of the victims, forced that victim to help Braden carry out the items he was stealing, and then dropped them next to a dumpster in the area before pulling out a gun and saying that that victim had just a few seconds to get away from him or he would open fire and shoot him. But thankfully, police did not have to look too far to arrest this guy. That's because he was already in jail for an attempted criminal homicide that happened just a couple of weeks ago. We reported on this when Charles Braden was also involved in a reported shootout when he was shot in the stomach. So again, he was already in jail on that charge. Add that to the 17 charges he was charged with last night. His bond has been set at $350,000. We'll have much more throughout the morning, but for now, we're live here at the Metro Jail. I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Thank you, Cuthbert. A man already in jail for previous charges is now at the center of a rape investigation by the TBI. Bobby Blaylock was arrested April 4th for stealing a car, drug paraphernalia, and driving without a license here in Nashville. Well, now he's accused of kidnapping and raping a girl in Ashland City. Agents say that back on April 3rd, he sexually assaulted her, left her in the woods, and took her car and left. Blaylock is in the Cheatham County Jail on a $1 million bond. And a search is underway this morning for a fugitive gang member and suspected drug dealer. Darius Dixon is wanted by the ATF for selling crack cocaine near a playground. A $2,000 reward is being offered for information leading to his arrest. If you see him, call 1-800-ATF-GUNS. And happening right now, an ongoing arson investigation. That fire happened in the 1700 block of Knowles Street in North Nashville overnight. Fire crews arrived to find what they call a significant fire inside, and investigators say it was an abandoned home with no electricity. Crews were able to put the fire out quickly, and the fire marshal will be out there later this morning to investigate. And we have an update this morning to a story we first brought you yesterday. A GoFundMe account has now been set up for the woman whose home was destroyed by fire. A fire broke out just before 12:30 Monday at the park at the Hermitage Apartments on Old Hickory Boulevard. One unit was destroyed. The woman who lived there was burned on the wrist and is expected to be okay, but lost everything. If you'd like to help Kayla Dobson, you can access her GoFundMe page at the bottom of your screen.
Cheatham County is going to have one less fire department in their community. The board of directors for the Two Rivers Volunteer Fire Department voted unanimously last night to shut down the department. It has struggled for months to keep firefighters on board. Board members said the residents will receive help from several area fire departments like the ones from Ashland City, Kingston Springs, and Pegram. They felt this was the best decision for the community.
It was a very hard decision for a lot of reasons, but we, as a board, felt it was necessary to close the volunteer fire department as we did not have qualified volunteers.
The department will shut down its doors officially at the end of June. A photo that's been making the rounds on social media here in Nashville is making a lot of people upset, but don't worry, it's all a fake. Take a look. We have gotten at least a dozen calls and emails about this photo. It shows 3 Metro police officers holding signs that say, "Don't make me shoot you in the back," obviously in reference to the shooting over in South Carolina. The problem is that photo is not real. It was photoshopped. Here's the original picture promoting the Tennessee Highway Patrol's Move Over campaign. It was posted on their Facebook page last May.
The owner of a home where nearly 100 dogs were found in terrible condition is now facing charges. Carolyn Irby is charged with 10 counts of animal cruelty. The Animal Rescue Corps rescued those dogs from the home in Manchester over the weekend. They're now being treated at a makeshift shelter in Lebanon. Once they've been treated, they're going to be put up for adoption.
A bill moving through the state legislature would create an online database of people convicted of animal cruelty. The abusers' names would be removed after 2 years unless the offender was convicted again. And more news from the Hill now. A bill making cannabis oil legal in Tennessee is now sitting on the governor's desk, ready for his signature. The measure will allow families to have the product shipped here from out of state if they have the proper paperwork and prescription. Cannabis oil is used sometimes to treat children with severe seizures. The governor is expected to sign that bill into law. Lawmakers in the House will be voting today on a measure making the Holy Bible Tennessee's official state book. But even if it passes, it may never actually become law. The governor says he does not think the idea is very respectful of what the Bible is, and certainly other religions. Similar efforts to make the Bible the official state book have already failed in Louisiana and in Mississippi.
And there is some new information about some controversial gas pipelines near Percy Priest. Many homes in that area never should have been built so close to those lines in the first place. Pipeline companies started clearing trees, shed, fences, and anything else in the way of its easement yesterday. When the city approved the development of the neighborhood in the 70s, it said that no home could be built closer than 10 feet to the edge of Columbia Pipeline's easement. Well, that didn't happen in many cases.
What we've noticed is that my home is less than 6 feet from that. There are homes that one of my neighbors, it runs 8 feet through her home.
Some residents have hired attorneys to look into any legal action that they may be able to take.
That would be